See that green checkbox? That green box is enabled. Restream says we are a go.
Yep, Mixer and
YouTube both say we are a go, and therefore we shall start. Welcome, everybody. This is the 4GwQPodcast, episode number 146. Today is August 24th, 2017. Wow, I can't believe how fast this year is just flying by. In 2 weeks, Assassin, who has made his 146th straight appearance tonight, 2 weeks you will be playing your most anticipated game of the year, Destiny 2. How excited are you on this evening?
Well, it's one of them, but these weeks have been, at least this week's been slow. And it's going even slower knowing with the Rainbow Six Siege stuff that we'll talk about later.
Oh, Jesus, yes. We shall get into that in a little bit. I definitely want you to give your thoughts on that, since, you know, I looked that up, and, you know, we're not going to start that topic right now, but it's only delayed a week. I mean, is it really that big of a deal?
Yeah, it's. I'll get into it more.
Okay, good. Well, that was ZPCI Assassin, of course. We also have Taylor, a.k.a. Zebra Fries, a.k.a. Zebra Fries. What's up, Taylor?
Hello.
And last but not least, we have Italian Clownz. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, tonight we have, a few topics here. Probably like 5 topics that we're going to get into. Of course, we're going to talk about Gamescom 2017, Xbox's presence there or lack thereof, according to a lot of people. A lot of people upset, but a few good things came out of that, so we'll get into those in more detail in just a little bit. Of course, we're going to actually open the show with the debacle, the fiasco known as the Super Nintendo Classic or Mini pre-orders that was an absolute, for lack of a better term, shit show this past week. So we'll get into the particulars of that and why we're all kind of a little bit pissed about it, even though some of us, me, got one. And
I hate you.
Of course,
It's my birthday. Give it to me.
Wait, when is your birthday?
Today.
Oh my goodness! Happy birthday!
Thank you. I told you guys this last week on the
yes,
podcast.
you did. Now that you say this, I do remember that. Yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit. Clownz will give us a little rundown of Uncharted Lost Legacy, which he's been playing and I believe has beaten. Correct, Clownz?
Yes, I've been it.
So he'll give us a little bit of a rundown on that, and we'll get into whether or not, single-player standalone DLCs for big games are really viable. Like, if that can be a popular thing to keep single-player games extremely relevant in today's space that's really dominated by, like, multiplayer games, free-to-plays, that kind of stuff. And, yeah, what else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. The Gamescom thing is really a wrap of a lot of news, so we'll get into that into the middle of the show. Let's first, before starting, we're going to give a big shout-out to our affiliates. We're starting to see a lot of stuff come in on those. I know you guys have been pre-ordering the Xbox One X, that kind of thing. Clownz has been doing a lot of tweeting from the 4Guys account about using our affiliate links, and we've gotten some hits recently, so we will be doing some giveaways pretty soon here if we can keep that flow coming in. So remember, if you don't have those links, you want to go to our info, the description of this YouTube. If you're on Mixer, head over to our YouTube, subscribe if you haven't, and check out those affiliate links because they do help us out. They do give us a little bit of a kickback, and once we get $50 or so, we'll probably do a little bit of a giveaway for you guys, maybe 25 if that's pretty soon. But we have seen an influx of that, so thank you guys so much. And thank you to our affiliates. Jeez. Speaking of affiliates, we had a sponsor back a little while ago, a program I subscribe to, MoviePass.com, and they have dropped their price significantly. Assassin, you may be interested in this. It's only $10 a month now for unlimited movies.
Yeah, I heard some movie theaters were upset about that.
Yeah, AMC is super upset, and they should be. AMC around here gets more than that for one movie, let alone unlimited movies. But yeah, MoviePass.com, I highly recommend it. They're not really a sponsor of the show anymore, but I do still highly recommend it.
Well, they technically are, but for some reason we don't get any credit from the links. I don't know what's going on with them.
Weird. Yeah, but anyway, either way, you should check out MoviePass.com because it's only $10 a month now, and That's a really, really good deal for that service if you're into movies, since you can see one movie a day. All right, well, J Street has spoken. He says, "What's up, chat? Screw Nintendo." So we shall get into that first. And I know, Taylor, it's your birthday, so you're definitely going first on this topic. I know you're pretty upset. You're going buck wild in our private Discord chat about Nintendo kind of fucking this up again. So for people who don't know, I don't know how you don't, but if you may not know about this, there were some pre-orders that had gone live kind of in the middle of the night on a few select sites. And if you weren't, up, waiting for that kind of thing, you probably missed out because they were gone in like a matter of minutes. So it's not like they were up for a whole day. They were up for minutes, if that. And so, Taylor, you kind of pissed about this?
Just kind of is an understatement. Nintendo is killing me, and I can't anymore. I love you, but I'm angry. That's how I feel. But like, to go up in the middle of the night, not say anything. The only people who really got it, I saw this somewhere on Twitter. Someone's like, way to only give it to I just forgot the terms of them. To the scalpers and people that don't work. So they're the only ones who saw that go live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the scalpers. I know a couple people in the YouTube chat have been talking about that. And yeah, I mean, literally, even right now you can, they're not even snatched up on eBay. People have been, putting these things up on eBay, getting a shit ton of money for them. And that's basic. I don't even know if Nintendo wants that anymore. I figure that they may want that at this point. Like, they don't make any money off of it, so it doesn't really make sense. But I think those eBay auctions kind of like drive up interest for it a little bit. And, they even expect, I feel like they expect it now. Like, after the NES Classic, how could they not expect that kind of thing to happen? And if you just like made more of them and maybe charged a little bit more, to cover those costs of more factory time, like, people would buy them. So, I mean, you're kind of just losing money to your scalpers. I don't understand why they would just release them in such low amounts in the middle of the night, and then, people who are dedicated and actually want them to play the games, aren't able to get them. Yeah, aren't able to get them. And so, I know my brother got one. If he's opening it, I'd be shocked, but maybe he will be. I don't know. But yeah, Assassin, what do you think? I know you weren't in the market for this, but you got a take on this?
I mean, it's just Nintendo is stupid and has to go with the times. I mean, releasing the pre-orders in the middle of the night, clearly they don't know what time, us Americans sleep at, and they're just stupid in general. So.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Nintendo does this cryptically. They don't even say, okay, 1:30 in the morning they're gonna go on pre-order. Now, people would be like, really, 1:30 in the morning? Like, you gotta name that as a time? But at least if they named it as a time, like, at least if they had given a specific time, boom, here we go. Microsoft kind of, let the cat out of the bag. Everyone knew that, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, the Xbox One X was going on pre-order right after Gamescom. And so everyone was, like, prepared to get their pre-orders in, and nobody was bitching about that pre-order selling out really quickly on Amazon or Best Buy or what have you, because those pre-orders sold out pretty quickly. Not as quickly as this, but kind of quickly. But Nintendo is just like, when you least expect it, boom. And J Street's right in the YouTube chat, 100% right. Only Nintendo does stuff like this, and I know Clownz is going to get into some more detail about their history of doing this, but only Nintendo does this, and it's kind of given them a little bit of a bad rap, and it's almost to be expected at this point that they're just going to like shit on their fans and do this to drive up interest. And it's crazy because the interest was already there. They did this with the NES Classic. People going, batshit crazy for that. Now the SNES Classic comes out. It's an even better package, in my opinion, of games. And like, they do it again. So, all right, Clowns, I know you got to give you a take, but
well,
I know
listen,
shitting on you, but.
They've been doing this since 1889 with their cards, and people back then used to bootleg their cards just because people would get pissed off that they couldn't get the rare cards or the cards. So Nintendo has a habit of doing this, and they've done it with the NES, they've done it with the Super NES, they've done it with the 64, and there's even a thing on Twitter going around from Fox News where they talk about Nintendo underproducing the 64s to drive up demand. This is all intentional by Nintendo. They're a very smart corporation. They make a crap ton of money. To think that they're ignorant and not doing this on purpose, and they're business oriented, is completely false and wrong. I mean, it's obvious it's intentional. And then when these games come out on the Switch for Virtual Console, I didn't get a Super NES Mini, so I'm going to go buy it on Virtual Console all over again. And you have to rebuy your Virtual Console games from the 3DS to the Wii U to the Switch. It's all intentional, underproduced to make a high demand. It's not going to stop here. No matter what they produce next, it's going to be same old crap. How come they always have enough like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe games or Zelda Breath of the Wild out there now? I mean, it's out there in the store when you go, right? There's plenty there. They obviously know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, other companies, PS4 Pros weren't, off the shelves and not there. The only other company that would someone could even complain this to, or the only other instance I should say recently where somebody could compare this to is, maybe the Switch a little bit, and that's still Nintendo. And then the PS4, the PSVR, but then the PSVR, everyone knew that there was manufacturing errors. It's not even, that cat was out of the bag. It's not even, a mystery of why this is happening. And then this is not a mystery anymore either, because people know that they're just screwing with us. And people are, what sucks too is that, and we kind of got into this a little bit, but we'll just reiterate this, is that people still fall for this shit. You know what I mean? No one's voting with their wallet about their outrage. They're just are super excited they're able to get one because they're so low. They're so low in quantity out there right now in the pre-orders.
GameStop is so upset that Nintendo did this that they posted an article how you can go and buy a tiny Nintendo shell, put a Raspberry Pi in it, make an emulator, and in their article, we won't tell you how to get ROMs, but we'll tell you how to mimic the Super NES Mini with the controller and everything, so that you have one in your house just because you can't buy it. And Nintendo wants to whine like little bitches when people ROM their shit. This is why people ROM your shit, Nintendo, because you're greedy assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not going to stop. That Star Fox 2 is going to be ROM'd in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, and, people like J Street, people like Taylor have said, they're getting it to genuinely play the games. J Street wants his son to experience the games. And people are obviously willing to spend the money to buy these retro-looking consoles to play on the retro-looking and feeling controllers, and yet Nintendo is gonna go ahead and get pissed because people are ROMing. Obviously people are gonna do that. You're right, Clownz. You're absolutely right.
Maybe next time they should put Reggie's face on the villain for Nintendo America.
Assassin's favorite video game personality / executive, Reggie Fils-Aimé, right?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
I'm totally off base. I was kind of making a joke about that, but kind of not. I thought it was. Jizzle says, by the way, why is there no outrage over the retailers? Amazon put up an alert product page making the notify system useless. GameStop and ThinkGeek bundled with their trash items. Well, GameStop's smart with that. I'm sorry. Walmart, there's outrage over Walmart. Remember Walmart canceled the orders?
Yeah.
And
they put them up a month early by accident.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Jizzle's got a point though. There should be outrage over these bundles too. The retailers are taking advantage. So obviously somewhere in the retailer's mind, and it's a business move, like you said, Inferno, it's a smart business move. But somewhere along the lines, they're let's allot this many to make an expensive bundle and just throw shit in there, and people are going to buy it, and we can jack up the price.
Yeah,
we can give you a Zelda wallet for $700 with your Super NES Mini.
That's almost as bad as scalping, to be honest. In my opinion, that's almost as bad as scalping, because you're literally holding them and jacking up the price and making and making a lot of money. And Jizzles is knocking me for saying that GameStop is smart. I mean, for their bottom line, they are smart. They can scalp and not be seen by the general public as scalping. Like, we're smart. We know what the deal is. We're looking at it. We know, that's the only way to get one for a reason. But there's, mothers out there, there's fathers out there buying for their kids that don't know that's the reason. They're saying, oh, this is the only way I can get one. Oh, here we go. I'm going to buy this bundle that's like thrown together with shit. I mean, hell, QVC and HSN have been doing this for years. They'll be like, oh, it's a $600 value. You're buying a Switch and you're spending ridiculous money. I know Clownz did this, so I don't want to really like knock it 100% because that was the only way to get a Switch back then. But people are extremely gullible on everything on QVC. Like, even stuff that isn't stock, like the Switch in this thing, like those things aren't in stock. So people may make that decision just to get it on time. But like, companies still do this with things that are in stock, like iPads and MacBooks and stuff. Like QVC and HSN will bundle it with like just jack shit just to get you to get the sale. GameStop is smart with it, but it's shitty. It really is. So, Jizzle says he actually pre-ordered a bundle from ThinkGeek. The man was so crazy, it just made sense. See, I mean, you're making the point. You're making the point. It's just, it's smart on their bottom line, but at the same time, like, we see it as being as bad as scalpers. So, speaking of retailers, you guys that are outraged about this, Clownz said that thing about GameStop, posted an article about romming. Toys R Us, do you guys see this? No longer doing pre-orders on the thing.
Mm-hmm. You have to make a mad dash for the store.
And
that was like the
Clownz.
the old days in New York City where you'd have to stand out in line for like Mega Man games when they were high in demand. You had to stand in line. You couldn't pre-order that stuff from like the little shops on the corner. They got a truck coming in Thursday. You were waiting in line all morning.
And there was, and think about how much less outrage there was in those days about it. Yeah, there may have been a fight in the line or two, but you didn't have like, gamers just like shitting all over the manufacturers of these systems because they had to, because they didn't get it. I mean, they knew if they didn't wait in line, they weren't going to get it. But this is like entirely different. Now this is supposed to be easier for people. This is supposed to be easier for these manufacturers, for these companies, for these game systems to get into our homes and make us spend money on their product. And yet it's making it harder. Like, this is almost better. The Toys R Us, like, brah fucking hell. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. I saw something on Twitter and it was like, because people are using the hashtag Hey Nintendo right now.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in the tag posted, "Hey Nintendo, I'm trying to give you my money, but you're making it really difficult for me to do that."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's very clear. I'm trying to give you my money, but you won't let me give you my money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
it's
losing
like
it, man.
It's like you're doing this to increase demand. You're doing this to increase hype for this thing. But then once the hype is increased, you're not like restocking in good enough amounts to like satisfy that hype. Like, you've successfully made this a thing that's sought out by everyone. Great. You know
what it does though? It drives up investor prices. It drives up because investors are like, "Oh wow, Nintendo's got another hit on their hands. Let's throw dough at them. How much dough do you guys need? We'll just keep throwing it at you."
Yeah,
I mean, it's good for stock. It's good for investment.
That's an interesting point. Very interesting point, because Nintendo, obviously, with the Wii and the Wii U, that was a very dark time for them. Was really behind a step from the other competitors, and now the Switch, awesome product. Pre-orders were abundant, like Jizzle says, but now it's kind of hard to find one on the shelves, and investors are taking this and seeing it as success, undoubtedly. And like you said, Clownz, like, people are seeing that there's interest in Nintendo, and because there's interest, they want to invest their money. Which is crazy. Like, investors are putting more money into a company that withholds their product than into other companies that are making like, you know, vastly superior products. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I saw another thing, and it was like, maybe you should use your pre-orders as a basis for making your product. Because they would make a lot more money off that. Because the amount of people that would go out and actually buy one would probably be like quadruple the amount of people that actually get one right now.
Yeah, and companies have been doing that. Like companies that do pre-orders well in advance. That's why on the last episode when we talked about the Xbox One X pre-orders and how outraged we were that there was not enough hype and the pre-orders hadn't come yet. Like that's why in that segment, like we're so outraged because they can just use that data to shape their launch of the system. Like they can just use that so effectively. And I feel like if you pre-order, you see the hype. You know, you know exactly how many to make for each single store, and then you add like a certain amount on for people who just didn't get the pre-orders, whatever. And instead, like companies like Nintendo are just using their pre-orders to just manufacture hype for a thing. It's so aggravating. And then Blackbeard, Blackbird, I think, in the YouTube chat, sorry. RS Gamers blowing the SNES out of proportion. Can't we just, you know, we really care about something to just be emulated? Yeah, I mean, it is definitely out of proportion. And like Clownz kind of got to a little earlier, I don't know if you were here, Blackbird, but, you know, Virtual Console is definitely, and Jizzle saying it too in the chat, Virtual Console is definitely the better way to go. You know, even for Nintendo, money-wise, like no manufacturing costs, boom, boom, like digital goods out the door, charge ridiculous money and people buy it. Virtual Console would be way better, but where's Virtual Console on the Switch? They're not rolling that out in time. They're not. There are things that they should be, you know, their Switch is out. They should be rolling that out before, you know, manufacturing hype for an SNES Classic. Like, you know, it's just.
Yeah. You know, on top of all this, right, you know what this is going to do? This is going to get those guys at GBA, Temp, and Hack Informer to go ahead and wrap more Virtual Console games, more emulation into the Virtual Console games, because that's what they do over there. When they get angry that a game is not in Virtual Console, they take the emulation, they take the ROM, and they wrap it into a Virtual Console, and then throw it on the 3DS or the Wii U, wherever you want to play it. And this is all that's going to do. It's going to create a lot of hype for that crap, and Nintendo's going to whine and bitch and send, you know, cease and desist.
Yep, and you know what? It's sad because it's obvious people want to spend money for old games and just drive Nintendo's profit margins up and up and up, and they just don't want a part of it so that they can just manufacture hype. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's almost as if they like allot a certain amount of money towards making these things, and that's it. Like, boom, done. Because the NES Mini, a classic, that's never coming back, and people would still buy that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's done. That thing's done. It's not like this is a successor. It's not backwards compatible. This is a completely different thing. Like people would definitely buy an NES Classic and an SNES Classic. It's not like, or Mini or whatever they're calling it now. But I mean, people would do both. So, but nope. Nintendo's not making those things. Forget it. So, all right. In the interest of time, we must move on now for Assassin's quick summary of why delaying a DLC for a week is such a big deal. So, Assassin, please tell us Operation Blood Orchid. I don't know how to pronounce these things. I can't pronounce today. Which is essentially Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege has been delayed a week, and Assassin is absolutely outraged. Please, Assassin, take the floor.
All right, so with Rainbow Six Siege, their DLCs are split in seasons. So in February, we got a Season 1 for Year 2 with 2 operators and a map. There was supposed to be a Season 2 about the time E3 was around, and they delayed it to fix the game, just to have it feel almost as broken or even more broken at the end of what's going to be Season 2 of Operation Hell. Just to have Season 3 be delayed a week because they knew, like, the game was going, or the DLC was going to be delayed. Like, because on starting August 29th, their technical test servers are getting the DLC when we were supposed to get it. So I feel like since it's playable at Gamescom, it should have been available today on the test servers and come out Tuesday. A week to fix whatever they need to isn't enough because they have to give it to the, Microsoft and Sony to figure what's wrong, if it can be published or not, So, I mean, a few days to test something, I doubt that they will even be able to fix it if there is something bad. And all the Siege players have been Drive content for over 6 months. And the game gets stale a little bit. And with new seasons, the meta changes with, on how the whole entire game is played.
Well, has it taken a hit, though? Because I feel like Siege's popularity is kind of like still up there. It's still...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting, there was 20 million unique players on this game, which is a lot of players, which is good for Siege. But then, like, people like, Clownz and I, who, play it a lot, and then, I mean, we took a huge break and we just got back into it a few weeks ago. But it gets stale. Like, you need to, like, kind of not bring new content, like, every month, but every 3 months bring something, and then I think like every 2 months they have like a mini update that kind of changes like some operators that maybe are too OP, maybe add some new things into the game, like they've added claymores in there and other gadgets that kind of change up the game a little bit, and they haven't added anything in over like 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So to me a week doesn't seem like a long time, but it's kind of like, I guess the argument, too, is that it's a week on top of... Actually, it's like twofold argument, kind of, because it's like a week on top of 6 months of just waiting for something new. And then also, it's a week on top of, the fact that it's ready to be tested.
Well, yeah, it's playable at Gamescom right now. Like, if you live in Germany, go and play it. Like, you can enjoy it. But, we can't play it for another 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's like because it's coming to PC first, right?
Yeah, just their test servers.
Oh, okay. I thought it was coming to PC first overall. So it's coming to everybody September 5th, and the test servers on what, the 29th or something like that?
The 29th, yeah.
Interesting. Like, I can't believe it's fully playable at Gamescom, and they think they're going to change, like, anything in that time.
Yep.
Probably not. Taylor or Clownz, any thoughts on this?
Well, I kind of...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So I kind of see where Assassin's coming from, because, I mean, even with Smite, there's a new update every month, but Xbox is normally the one that gets it last, because it has to go through approval from Hi-Rez, and then it has to go through approval from Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
And so, meanwhile, PlayStation and PC will have the update, and we're maybe not even a week behind. And it's just like, I just want the new update. I want to try the new items. I want to try this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I get where some of the frustration is coming from, especially if Smite didn't have an update for 6 months. People would lose their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So I see where Assassin is coming from now. At first, I was like, dude, it's a week. But now I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I'm with you, Taylor. At first, I was like, dude, it's a freaking week. Like, why is this a big deal? That's why I was kind of like in Discord, like, it's a week, bro. Like, you can wait a week. But, like, these games are built for the long haul. Like, if they're built for a long haul, you can't let it there be such a dry period. Like, yeah, people will play it because, Siege, even though, like, there's just a limit on how many maps, you can play it differently, like so many different ways, every time you play. So it is fresh. Like, if it weren't fresh, it wouldn't succeed every time you played it. But at the same time, this thing's been out for 3 years, or not 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah, we're in year halfway through year 2.
Right. So almost 3 years, or almost 2 years, and so. This is a game that they're obviously going to keep supporting for year after year after year, because it's built like that and people are playing it. So you probably need to get either content out sooner or not let people be not let it be known that the stuff's ready and you're just not getting it out, because that's gonna frustrate people who are big fans of the series and want something new. And
Well, to be honest with you, the delay is not the biggest problem they have. I mean, like as I said, delay upon delay kind of upsets the hardcore base a little bit. But I think the biggest problem is every time they say we're going to take down the server for emergency maintenance, we're going to patch something, they got like 1,000 more bugs. Like they do Operation Health, they start patching, all this other stuff. Now there's no hitbox on Ash's head. Doc has infinite stem packs if you know the glitch. There's glitches of where you can go into the map and not get shot if you know what you're doing. And it's just, it's one thing after the other with Ubisoft. It's like, get your crap together and just start patching the main stuff at least. Who cares? People fall through the floor, big deal, they die. Who cares? But patch the hitboxes, because the hit detection is the worst thing. I'd rather see that patch before any DLC comes out. And I don't even know why they're taking away maps from ranked and casual now when the new stuff comes out. That's like even more. Is it because they can't patch it? They don't know what they're doing?
Or they just can't support all that on dedicated servers. Oh, is it even dedicated servers?
Yeah, it's dedicated servers.
Doesn't feel like it with the pings being in the 200 to 300s for some people.
Yeah, they said
So
that they're
true.
trying to fix that, but like, I just don't understand how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I don't like about Siege, because I love the concept. I just hate the hitbox stuff, and if that stuff were fixed, I'd be very compelled to play it, because I do, like I just said, I do love the play style, and it does remind me of the Rainbow Six of old a little bit, and I do like that a lot, and I like the hero shooter genre, if you will, and this is really kind of like a hero shooter, even though it's not set up like one exactly 100%. But yeah, I don't know. People, not enough people are bitching about it. That's the thing. Like it's so popular that they'll just live with the problems. They're just not seeing enough of a decline, I don't think.
Well, I mean, if you go on the forums and the Reddit threads, there's a lot of complaining about it. And like some of the newer stuff too that's ridiculous is like if you're fused and you go to fuse a window, a wall, sometimes like the stuff bounces out like before, not even into the objective where you're fusing. They'll just bounce out and hit you
And
or
kill
hit
you.
a teammate.
Yeah. Team kill. Yeah. Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
had one-
'Cause you place it down and it hits the beams instead of actually going through them.
Yeah. Well, I had one that I put near a couch in a wooden floor, and it didn't even go into the wooden floor. It shot backwards on top of the couch and then onto my head and blew me up.
Wow. Did you record that? Because I need to see that.
I think I did. I remember complaining like the whole night to Assassin about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, I don't know how much more we can talk about that. It is delayed a week, and when it does come out, we will talk about it on the podcast, I'm sure.
Well, one
yeah,
thing.
Oh, go
There'll be
ahead.
bugs.
Sorry.
Please, go ahead.
And they're releasing the update in such a bad time, because what comes after the 5th, the 6th, which is Destiny 2.
Yeah, but people are still going to be playing Siege. No.
Well, I mean the big hardcore Siege players, but like someone like myself and probably some other people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean the game is going to be left to the side.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think Blood Orchid coming out is going to, sway people away from the Goliath that's coming out very soon after that. Not a chance. Unless you're, a diehard, obviously. All right, let's talk about Xbox Gamescom a little bit.
You mean they had a Gamescom? Because I didn't see it. Did you see it? I didn't.
I saw E3 2.0 for the most part.
When I saw Record Definitive Edition, like, wow, my mind is blown.
Listen, 4K HDR content that was supposed to be out at launch sold, right? Absolutely sold. And that game is coming to Games Pass. I think that's kind of a big deal. So I think that's a game people should really experience. Like, even if you're not into it and you don't finish it, you should at least, play it and check it out. No?
And then you'll realize why that game is the worst Xbox first-party exclusive and that has ever existed.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Assassin.
Well, because, I hate to spoil, the story. It's like, you wake up, you're like, oh, I gotta find out these core bots. I see a signal, too. Let's go to the other side of the map. Oh, yeah, there's a bad guy on the other side of the map. Go, please kill him. Go to the other side of the map. Oh, yeah, you need cores. So just grind the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
And then you can't even beat the game without collecting every last little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's aggravating. That is aggravating.
I thought I was
That's
like
what turned
playing
me off from the game.
robots from Mad Max. You know, so much desert. I thought, oh hey, where's Mad Max with his car to help me out?
Wow. I mean, it does look a little bit like Mad Max, so I can't even knock you on that. Real quick, I want to get to the YouTube chat really quick. Blackbird is saying it's E3 remastered. I totally agree with that.
Oh,
but,
my God, yeah.
But Sageball, one of our good friends of the show, says, Gamescom was like every other Gamescom to me. And you know what? You know, I can't necessarily refute that, but at the same time, does it... You know, I mean, we are Xbox fans on this show, but there was a lot of hype for a lot of things being shown at Gamescom. Like, a lot of people were saying, oh, wait till Gamescom, you're going to see this, this, and this. And then that was kind of just, like, letting the air out of the balloon when Crackdown was delayed. So we obviously weren't going to see the, you know, awaited multiplayer mode that people were saying we were going to see at Gamescom. So I feel like Gamescom was the chance for Microsoft to show off some more stuff that they have. I mean, granted, they showed off the Jurassic Park thing. That's multi-platform. You know, they showed off a few things we'll get into in a little bit about some positive things, but it wasn't anything new. It wasn't any AAA things that they have on the back burner that may get people really excited. I mean, the news about some Games Pass additions. The news about 100.
The controllers. I mean, those controllers.
Those pig controllers. The addition of 100. Games that are gonna get updates for Xbox One X. Like, that's all good news, but Xbox needed something more than just a regular Gamescom, I think, and that's. And I know people weren't necessarily stoked for Gamescom, but there were people out there that were saying, wait for Gamescom, like it's going to be a big Gamescom for Xbox, and Sony wasn't there. Sony's waiting for Paris Games Week at the beginning of November. So it was a chance to capitalize and make it all about Microsoft. And then, yes, it was all about Microsoft at this Gamescom, but not in a way that was like, wow, this is huge. There are a few big standout moments we'll get into in a second, but... I don't know. You guys feel the same way? Like, did you guys feel the same way about what you saw at Gamescom?
I'm irritated with Xbox.
Yeah,
I'm irritated.
Yeah.
I'm irritated with Xbox. I'm irritated with Nintendo.
Same. Yep. Same. I can agree. I almost don't want PUBG now just because of Gamescom.
Oh, dude, PUBG was one of the biggest news at Gamescom. That publishing deal, bruh. That publishing deal.
I feel so lackluster with Gamescom. Like, they can't even sell me on PUBG right now.
Wow, dude. Them having them publishing the console version, I think is a big deal. Like, I've said that I think this is one of the biggest games ever for third-party exclusives, and having them publish the console version, I think, is a huge deal for them to gain some revenue, even if it's not 100% console exclusive, which I think it's going to be longer console exclusive now than it was going to be in the beginning, now that they're publishing it. But I don't think it's not coming to PlayStation.
Okay. The other thing that they need to get over is a shoddy marketing terminology that Sony and Microsoft both use. Launch exclusive, timed exclusive. Just tell us how long it's exclusive for. Don't bullshit around the circle.
Why would they be like, yeah, it's coming to our console first, but if you want the PS4 version, just wait like 6 months and you can go there.
Yeah, but
launch exclusive.
Yep,
People buy their console.
Bluehost needs to tell us, Assassin. They're the fucking developers. Get their asses on the line and have them tell us. They're the ones screwing everyone around. Oh, yeah, it's a launch exclusive. It's timed exclusive. Oh, we don't know what we're doing. We got our hands up our asses. We're jackasses. We're idiots. We're morons. We don't know time frame. We don't have time frame over here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both sides of that could be true. Could be like right, because if Microsoft were to say, oh, it's console, because everyone's giving shit to Microsoft about lying about what exclusive means, right? They're using like console exclusive, like console launch exclusive, like they're using a lot of words for exclusive because, let's face it, they don't have any exclusive AAA games. I mean, 2017 has been a terrible year for Xbox when it comes to their own content. So, like, they're using all this shit, but at the same time, if they had said, we have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and it is exclusive on Xbox for 1 entire year, that would still be a huge deal. Like, if they came out and said that.
They were honest about Tomb Raider, right? I mean, they came out and said that it was for a year, pretty much. I believe it's either them or Square Enix. But they need just to be honest, because what's going to happen is this marketing terminology is going to bite them in the ass. Like, if it's 6 months exclusive, down the line, Kotaku's going to run an article that goes, Microsoft misled everyone with console launch exclusive. 6 months later, it's on PS4.
Yep.
It's just going to bite them in the ass and make them look like idiots.
Yeah, what they really needed to do was lock this up as truly exclusive. Like, they need to be able to, like, come out and say that. And I think them saying that it's... that they're publishing it so that it's, they have some sort of hold on how that comes to console. I think that if you read between the lines, that is a huge deal. But at the same time, people want to know, and Jizzle's saying, and a couple of people actually saying in the YouTube chat, like, what did you expect from Gamescom? What do you care about exclusives? I'm sorry, Xbox people care about exclusives. Like, I want a reason to own my Xbox more than, like, going on Xbox Live and chatting with these 3 people. Or chatting with you guys in the YouTube chat. Like, I want a reason to play it. I want games that are compelling, that are only on Xbox, that have, the Xbox spin on it. You know what I mean? I want unique stuff. Like,
you're getting some comments in the Mixer chat. I don't know if it's coming up for you.
It's not loading, no.
I always say his name wrong, but Rails, I think is the easiest way to say his name. He just wants to let you know that he agrees with you. He thinks the 1 terabyte is better than 500 gigabytes when day one OG Xbox One was only one size. And, I mean, yeah, so he's sitting there, he agrees with you, Inferno, on some of the stuff you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry I can't see the Mixer chat. I'd be shouting you guys too, but for some reason it's not loading for me. Let me refresh the page here. But yeah, I mean... And then Jizzle comes back and says unique stuff doesn't mean exclusive games. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what it means. That's kind of exactly what it means. I mean, I don't mean unique stuff like Persona 5. I don't mean unique stuff like Yakuza 0, or I don't mean unique stuff like Night Trap. I don't mean that. I mean unique. Xbox knows their brand. They know their gamers, and they bring a game that's suited for them. That's what I mean by uniqueness. I don't mean like, Insult Simulator.
Yeah, wow. That is a fun game. Do you know that your country likes Batman vs Superman but never watched Star Wars, and your hat is getting fat? That's an exact line.
Top-notch insult right there.
From the game.
You should feel embarrassed.
Wow. All right, moving on. There were a few good things about Gamescom that were good, other than Insult Simulator, which was probably not a Gamescom. It might have been. And by the way, for people saying that Gamescom was never a huge thing for announcements, there are over 300,000 people that go to Gamescom. So if they had announcements and new playable stuff and new stuff to show, even in like demos that they could sit people in for 5 minutes and just show off something new, that would be a big deal.
Well, Aaron Greenberg said it best. Gamescom is a consumer show. E3 is an industry trade show.
That's right. And consumers are driving. I mean, look at this podcast. Consumers... and look at the multitude of podcasts, awesome podcasts out there, awesome YouTubers doing, gamer-created content that is more popular than the likes of, like, IGN and stuff. Like,
and Assassin with his streams of Alpha Packs with a little potato aim. I mean, you guys got to check that out.
I saw that title. I liked it. Loved it, actually, Assassin. All right, so a couple of good things that came out of Gamescom. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all E3 2.0. Obviously, Xbox One X pre-orders were finally went live. I know, I got one of the Project Scorpio edition, which was rumored and was finally officially announced. And it's basically an Xbox One X with a little bit of Project Scorpio branding. The box is really cool. This is actually gonna probably get me to save a box for once. I don't really save game boxes too much, but this box looks really, really cool. The Project Scorpio green text on the Xbox One X and on the controller. So if you pre-ordered it, likelihood is that you got that version. And what do you know? The pre-orders, were not necessarily super limited that, only 50 people could get them. 'Cause I got one in Clownz, you got one Assassin.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's something that bothers me about those pre-order, right? Like I know, okay, it did better than Microsoft expected. Absolutely. I do agree with that. I don't think they expected to sell so much, especially even in Europe like Germany. But however, given each GameStop between 5 to 12 and then saying, oh, I expected that to last more than a week. Come on, man. There's like 7 employees at every GameStop. And there's always like 4 or 5 in a 3-mile radius. So, of course, those employees are going to want one too. And they're holding it for themselves or their friends. Like at my GameStop, I love the guys at my GameStop. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I heard conversations where like, oh, if I don't get one, somebody's pre-order is going to get canceled.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I don't have to step in a store, I'm not stepping in a store just because of reasons like that. Like, I know, Assassin, you saw some shady shit at your GameStop too, right?
I don't remember.
Didn't you say that
Joe,
that you guys like walked in and they had already gotten like 7 pre-orders or something, and you guys were like the first people there or something like that?
Yeah, they had like 12, and then there was I think one guy buying it. And they had like he kept on. I think his math was terrible because he gave me my money back for something, but he said there was like 7, and there was like 5, and then there was like 4, and then there was 6.
Yeah, when I was in the party with Joe described it best. He said, we walk in, they have 12 for a GameStop, and it's me, Assassin, and somebody else. So he goes 1, 2, 3, and then nobody else is there. He's like 4, 5, 6, 7. He goes, I think we got 4 left, is what Joe said after that.
Yeah.
Like, so he counted invisible people.
Yeah, he kept on saying how much he wanted one. He was hoping that they don't get camped or all taken.
Oh Jesus! Now that's a bad sign. That's like the people at Target and Best Buy, a lot of retailers. I don't want to single those ones out, but something really popular comes in and there just happens to not be any stock of it all of a sudden.
Fallout so gone within minutes at Target, and what else? The PVZ stickers on the Cheetos and Doritos. Remember, I had to go in there, and I had to talk with the guy who delivered it, and I gave him a little message, and he gave me like 13 bags of PVC stickers after that.
Mm-hmm, I do remember.
But other than that, he was like handing them out to the guy at the electronics counter, like here you go, here you go, here you go. Just like piles of stickers, not even sticking on the bags.
Yep. Yeah, shady shit. Taylor, did you get a pre-order? Everyone wants to know.
I did not. I don't have money for a pre-order.
Oh, I knew that was gonna be the answer.
I'm doing good on saving though. I have 375 in saving.
So you are planning on getting one?
Eventually.
So
honestly, my first priority right now. No, it's the Halo 4 or it's the Halo 5 one. I'm not trading that. It's beautiful.
Dude, those special edition Xbox ones though, they're on point with some of those.
It is absolutely beautiful, and it matches my room. I'm not getting rid of that.
And besides, the GameStop, it's worth the same of what an Xbox One would be or a Slim would be. They don't care about the special editions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, to be honest, my first priority is a Switch.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to get a Switch
then
at least with Mario Odyssey. When that comes out, I want a Switch.
There you go. Just a couple months. You'll be getting that in
and
October.
Then, I'm going on a cruise. I'm saving a bunch of money,
Ooh.
bunch of cash up for that. And whatever cash I don't spend, that's going to games.
There you go. Yeah,
And I'm going to have about $800 of spending money on the cruise. I don't think I'm going to spend all of that in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, and people have made that argument. Like, should I buy games or should I buy the Xbox One X? Because you can buy a lot of games with the Xbox One X money. And if you don't have a 4K TV, it's getting less and less compelling. They're not really doing a great job. I mean, they're saying it, but they're not really showing it enough. Yeah, about what those improvements for 1080p TVs, it's going to end up just selling to the 4K crowd. Like, it's as simple as that. You're not going to convince. Same thing with the Pro. Like, you're not convincing people to buy these things without a 4K TV. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I got one. I don't have 4K TV, but I do want the faster load times. Like, I do think that some of the... I still got a day one Xbox One, and I just think it chugs a little bit on some stuff. So I think there's going to be a lot of improvement there.
Yeah, but Clownz, you're a super fan, though. You know what I mean? You're going to get it anyway, even if you have a 4K TV or not. And people like you, that's a good segue, Clownz, perfect. People like you obviously have been buying this thing because it is now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it is on Amazon. It's ahead of the PS4 Pro for 2017 bestsellers in the video game sector. So the pre-order of this thing is already ahead of the Pro. That's pretty... I know the Pro came out last year, so, you know, people could have probably bought it last year, but at the same time, you know, people weren't thinking that a lot of people weren't thinking that pre-orders were going to rush out the door, and you know, the hardcore is definitely coming out to pre-order this thing. Definitely coming out to this thing.
You know, I think what Microsoft did was kind of smart. I think maybe in this case, you know, I was kind of harsh on them a little bit, if you remember, about this. I think they were a little bit smart in the fact that they put so much power into it, because if you think about it, for the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years, whatever the iteration is going to be for mid-gen right now, if devs want to make a game that's extremely powerful, Xbox can get the exclusive on it because their system can handle it, whereas PS4 Pro might not be able to handle so much, so it might have to be watered down if they were going to get some type of power-intensive exclusive. So it was kind of smart. The only thing is, like, it brings up the skepticism of, you know, is all the games going forward really going to work on the Xbox One S or the Xbox One day one? Are they really telling the truth? Nobody knows for sure yet. We're not there. We got like a few more years to go, but we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of these claims that are, you know, we just haven't seen enough of this stuff. We haven't seen. It's crazy that, you know, even Microsoft is guilty of not doing enough to convince people to buy such an amazing product like this. If it does what they say it's going to do, then it's obviously an amazing product, even for 1080p owners. But 1080p TV owners, other than, you know, super fans like Clownz, aren't buying this thing. Like, I know, you know, Enrique, for instance, from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, awesome podcast on Wednesday nights. I've been on that show a couple times. He told me he's not getting an X now, and he did that incredible, you know, GameStop trade-in deal and got a ton of credit, enough to get an Xbox One X, and he's not getting one because he's not getting a 4K TV. People like that aren't convinced that the improvements are good enough. Like, Clownz, you know, what you say is a good point, that that, you know, load time is going to be faster, so a lot of people want that over maybe their OG Xbox situation. But, you know, I feel like they need to, like, say, okay, here's a load time for Gears of War 4 on the OG Xbox, and here's Gears of War 4 on the Xbox One X, and show them, like, side by side, and the Xbox One X just destroys it in load times. And then somebody will be like, oh, wow, that's incredible. Like, I definitely need that in my life. Or, like, download speeds or install speeds or fluidity on the dashboard. A lot of people complain about that, including us. You know, show us these things side by side, and they're just not doing it well enough.
Yep.
I think, you know, I've been reading Twitter, and I've seen a few reviewers and writers from different magazines, IGN, Kotaku. I've seen a few of them say, you know, Xbox One X is going to be my go-to machine now once it comes out, because I want to harness that power, you know. So I've seen that. Are they really going to continue to write good articles about it? I don't know, but the thought process is there. Like, hey, X can run this game better than PS4 Pro.
Mm-hmm. And Daz in the YouTube chat says $4.99 faster load times. Come on. Well, it's not just faster load times on games, like fluidity on the dashboard, you know, maybe install times, maybe download speeds. Like, these are things that just add up and add up and add up, and then eventually you will get a 4K TV maybe a few months afterwards if you don't already have one. So, you know, some people don't necessarily want to wait for the newest, you know, the brand new newest thing. So, I mean, it's for 1080p people, like, it is not necessarily like the hardest of sells. It's a hard sell, but it's not, you know, people do anticipate making purchases of 4K TVs, and especially like Middle Age Gamer just said, on YouTube. Like 4K TVs are getting cheap now, even with HDR. You're saying not with HDR, but even with HDR, 4K TVs are getting cheaper. So
yeah, and like if you pay attention to the Newegg sales, the 1 day sales, Tiger Direct and stuff, you'll see like some 4K TVs down to like $499 with HDR. So I mean, they are there. I mean, do the sales last forever? No. And are they always name brand? No. But they are there.
Sim says, good point in the YouTube chat. Now that the hardware is finished and it's out there, people are pre-ordering it. It's obviously in a very close to finished state, if not 100% finished state. Now that hardware is there and they've got the most powerful thing, they want Xbox to double down on software, and hopefully that comes true. And hopefully at next E3 we really see Microsoft really getting some unique titles out there. But with their track record, it's really hard for us to be positive about that. What else about Gamescom? Oh, Assassin is definitely going to pick up this $400 Xbox One S Minecraft system, which is ridiculous in my opinion. I'll let you guys, throw yours out there, but Jesus Christ, $400.
I am mad at them. Like, I'm mad at Nintendo for that, because I was really looking to get rid of my Xbox One and go to like an Xbox One S while I'm waiting for the Xbox One X. And then I see the price tag and I'm like, wow, this is one I would actually buy, but I'm not going to spend $400 on this thing when the X is like $500, $100 more.
Yeah. I mean, for $100, the choice is simple. This thing is very overpriced. Like, Xbox One S is gonna be, if it isn't already at retail, like $250. You're gonna charge $150. And Black Friday definitely gonna be $200, without a doubt. And you're gonna charge a $200 premium, $150 premium on a console that's skinned in a way that it probably should have been skinned a year ago. And if you want to get people excited, this would be like $300, not $400. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I would love to know if they could somehow explain, and they'll never do this, but I would love to know on the back, on the back end, not like publicly or something. I would love to know what the increased cost is on skinning a console like this on the print versus getting a white one. I know there is increased costs, but to justify almost, I mean, you're doubling the system cost. Like, if this thing says $400 at Black Friday, I mean, this thing comes out when? Like the end of September, right?
That was October.
Is it? Hold on. I'll look it up as I talk. How can you double the price of this thing? If it comes out at the end of October, I don't know if it's going to be discounted severely for Black Friday. Let's say it comes down like $50. $350 versus $200 for Xbox One S. How can you almost double the cost of a system for a skin like this?
Well, the controller, Inferno, those expensive controllers? The Creeper controller?
How much are those? Like $75?
Probably, realistically speaking, on the market.
I think they're $75. It's available October 3rd of 2017. It is a 1 terabyte console. It comes with the Minecraft Creeper controller. It comes with the vertical stand. And it comes with Minecraft Redstone pack, whatever the hell that is. Do you know what that is, Dustin?
It's just a DLC. I think they gave it away during E3 for free. If you watched on Mixer.
Sim in the chat and BX Latino Heat from Mixer both feel that it should be around $299 to $300.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And trust me, like, this system, when I saw this thing, when I was watching the Gamescom thing, and they talked about this, I was like, dude, I don't even need an Xbox One S, but I want this thing because this thing looks incredible. This is customization at some of its best. The controller on top of it, not even the controller. Just look at the console; it's just amazing. And the back of it lights up redstone, right? The back of it has LED lights that are redstone. And I was saying I'm gonna grab one of these, and then they were like, "Oh, pre-orders today! Like, it's available for pre-order now." And you go to the site and you see $400. I'm like, hell no, $400. Get out of here. Get out of here. Taylor, what do you think?
I'm annoyed with Xbox. And
The theme. The theme.
the theme. I'm annoyed today. But why do this with the S and not do it for the X instead? Do something to boost or to get more interest in the X of the console that you're not doing that.
It says in little green letters, very tiny, Project Scorpio.
Yeah, why didn't they put those not like on the controller? Project Scorpio. Like you have to tilt your controller one way to read it. Why couldn't they just put it to like you're holding it like, oh, Project Scorpio, cool, not Project Scorpio.
I don't get the point of putting this on the S when you're trying to boost sales for your brand new most powerful console ever.
Yeah,
I don't get the point.
I gotta why not just sell both?
This should have come out last year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Not around the same time that the X is coming out. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Because people are going to want cheap slims right now. People want cheap slims since the Xbox One X is coming out, and eventually some of them will upgrade to the Xbox One X. And putting this thing out there, almost priced at the Xbox One X price, is saying, hey, the slim prices are going back up again. I mean, like, it doesn't make sense to the casual market. Taylor's absolutely correct.
Because the casual market's going to go in around the holiday time, whatever. This thing comes out October 3rd. That's almost holidays, let's just be honest. Which is sickening, but let's just go with it. People are going to go in, with their parents, and the kid's going to be like, oh, yeah, I want this Minecraft Xbox One. And the mother's going to be like, oh, that's cute. Like, it comes with the game, and it's, skin cute or whatever. Let me see the price. Oh, $400. Oh, but this white one, little Johnny, is $250. And then Johnny will be like, oh, no, but this one's cool. Like, it has this skin, it's painted this way, blah, blah, blah. And the mother's going to be like, nope, this is cheaper. You're not getting that. So they're losing the sale right there. Like, that's absolutely how it's going to go down. I don't see, unless parents are loaded, they're not going to go for this when it has no perceivable value. And Sim, I know in the YouTube chat, you're making an awesome point, so I'm gonna shout it out. He's saying it's a 1 terabyte console, which that is perceivable value. Like, a parent may compare the 1 terabyte S white version to the 1 terabyte S limited bundle. So, okay, so say that's $300. You can get that for cheaper. Let's just say it's $300 though. So it's a $100 difference. They're not going to see like the game, the DLC, and the vertical stand. They're not going to see the vertical stand as a $20 value, even though it is. The game they're going to see as a $20 value, but they're going to see that they just bought it on their iOS device for like $5. So they're not going to see that as a $20 value. The DLC is $5. So Sim's saying it's really only $55 for the customization. And you know what? If it were just $55, that wouldn't be that bad. But perceivable value, I don't think it shows as just $55 extra. Like, people aren't, and the average consumer is not going to see, when you can get an external hard drive that's like a 4 terabyte at holiday time for like $90, they're not going to see getting a 1 terabyte console as perceivable good value. I really don't.
And people, I hate to say this, but people do expect games that come with their consoles. It's been like that since the days of Nintendo, the NES.
Right. I mean, look at the 1S bundles now. You get like 4 games with the bundle. You know what I mean? And this is just going to have 1 game. And granted, this stuff is awesome. Like, I'm not, people are like kind of hating in the chat because we're hating on this, but like, I would buy one of these. I don't even need it if it were the right price.
Yeah, I would go get one too, but $400? No, I hate to say this, but I'd rather spend that $400 on a Pro over this.
And Sim, like, you're just making good points about this tonight, and I agree with you on this point. If you make only 100,000 of them, 100,000 of something, it's going to sell out completely. Wouldn't you make it higher to make way more profit? I don't think they're only making 100,000 of this. Like, it says limited edition bundle, but I don't think it's like Nintendo. You're saying they're pulling a page out of Nintendo's book. I don't think it's like Nintendo. I think if they see this sell out in the shelves, they're just going to bring out more. Like, the only reason they say it's limited edition is because they want you to perceive that it's higher value. I think, I don't think that it's really limited edition. Like, look at the Gears of War 4 bundle, the red console. Like, that wasn't really limited edition. Or
yeah,
there are a ton of bundles that aren't. So
it's marketing.
It's just marketing. Yeah. But you're right. If they only make 100,000 of them, and they make it $400. Yeah, they want to get their bang out of their buck, and You know, they want to get the most money they can if they're only making 100,000, but I guarantee they're making more. And you're right. I don't know how limited they really are, but we shall see. We shall see. I think this thing would have sold like crazy, even to Xbox One X owners that don't even need one, just because like it's cool, honestly.
Yep.
And Taylor, you're right. Like, if this were on the Xbox One X, I think a lot of people would buy this and spend a little bit more to have it customized like that. Because I'm not even the biggest Minecraft player. I think this is freaking cool, and Minecraft is getting a huge exclusive 4K resolution and texture upgrade on the Xbox One X. Like, I've seen it in person at E3. It's incredible. It's gonna get me back into Minecraft. Like, it looks incredible. So why not like make the Xbox One X skin like this as well, and get a little bit more for that, and you know, include Minecraft in that, and you know, promote the 4K upgrade. I don't get it. And this is a good point you say in the YouTube chat, so say it on the podcast, Taylor.
Okay, so people are like confusing what I'm saying. I am not irritated that they came out with this. I am irritated that they came out so late with this.
Mm-hmm.
Had you put this out 6 months earlier, would have been fine. I would not have cared. I am irritated that this is coming out a month before you releasing the X, a console that you are so very poorly marketing to gamers everywhere. Everyone has bad things to say about the X because you guys haven't really said anything great about the X. You haven't done anything to make a lot of people want the X other than the hardcore gamers.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of a business is to market your stuff, sell it, and make money off that.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing a terrible job with this. This is why I'm so irritated with Xbox right now. And people are confusing what I'm saying in the chat, so I'm trying to lay that out as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just irritated with Xbox. They've done really bad this year. They screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like they don't want to let the cat like 100% out of the bag, but like by announcing Project Scorpio / Xbox One X, whatever, a year in advance, like they kind of had to let the cat out of the bag, and they kind of had to advertise in a way to get more people hyped for this and to show off the differences and to sell their machine with good software too, and they just haven't done that too well. And if this bundle came out last year, I think it would have sold very, very, very well. And Jizzle saying Microsoft said the X is a premium console. That doesn't mean they don't want to sell it. So
no, just saying something is premium does not mean that it only needs to go to the hardcore people. If you are only trying to sell to the hardcore, you are limiting your market share on a certain item. That is not how a business works. You want to appeal to everybody, not to the 10%.
Premium is just marketing and talk. It doesn't really mean much anymore. I mean, premium car seats, premium radio, premium burgers at Burger King, premium McDonald's sandwiches, you know, the ones that have to sit down where they make sandwiches in front of you now. So, I mean, it's just marketing and speak these days. Nobody ever holds true to their word.
You know what's funny is that the word premium is really ironic and kind of like an oxymoron if you think about it, because the word premium means that everyone should want it. Like
exactly.
The word premium means like you want this. Like translate that is that you want it. Like that's the only reason they call it premium. They don't call it premium to necessarily just jack up the price. They call it premium so that they can jack up the price and that you're going to pay that price to get it. And you know it's the best because people want the best, especially in tech. People want the best. And like with this Xbox One S, like if this had come out last year alongside with, you know, Xbox One S came out last year. If this had come out alongside it and they had this console, they had the Gears console, this would have sold incredibly, even at $400. But $400 this late is not good. It's not good. It's really not good. I don't know how people justify it. I mean, Sim, you did a good job with the pricing. I agree with you on that pricing. but the average, I mean, inherently speaking, that valuation is correct, but I think the common consumer doesn't like go into the store and make that, like, it doesn't weigh out those numbers exactly like that. I don't think that would work out. So, Sassy, you have anything more to say about this? Because I know you've been kind of like lurking in the shadows.
Well, you have to think about it. I mean, it's Minecraft. There's Minecraft freaks out there, not to offend anyone, but Minecraft sells. So, I mean, yes, they should have came out last year, but, I mean, Minecraft sells a lot of copies and is played by millions and millions of people. You know, either if it's in their fun spare time or, you know, they have the educational Minecraft version. So, I mean, people eat this thing up.
It's true. It's true. And I'm not, and like I said, I'm not even like one of those people, and I would buy this thing.
You know, I think it is the sexiest Xbox One S I've ever seen. And it's just a dirt block, essentially.
And it's just a dirt block.
You know?
It really is the sexiest Xbox One S, though, by a long shot. I know a lot of people like that Gears one. I do like that red, but it's definitely not as nice as this. Not even close.
MTA in the Mixer chat said it's only available at Microsoft Store and Target, so it probably won't sell well.
Oh, that's a good point. Why can't I see the Mixer chat? I'm going to have to get this fixed because I have the page up and I just can't see it.
Mixer is just crap.
Yeah,
so.
It's been a little weird lately. It's true. So, yeah, it's only available at Microsoft Store and Target exclusively, which I think Target is putting a play on getting that, like, as their big Black Friday deal, like getting people in their doors to buy these things on Black Friday. Like, I don't understand why else Target would get this exclusively on top of Microsoft Store. Like, that's really an enigma to me. Because I don't think this is gonna really sell well to casuals. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense at all. But good point over in the Mixer chat. Sorry, I can't see it. Clownz, thanks for shouting it out. All right, real quick, just to end the show, Uncharted Lost Legacy also came out, and that is a standalone, not really DLC, but kind of in the same realm atmosphere as the Uncharted 4 game that came out last year. So if you guys aren't familiar with that or living under a rock, that is a huge Naughty Dog exclusive for PlayStation, and it is now spawning a game that was not in development for a very long time, so it plays and looks a lot like Uncharted 4, but and Clownz is about to tell us in a second, the puzzles and the open worldness and a lot of things have been tweaked in order to make this a really unique experience. So Clownz, tell us why this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, you won't see a lot of crates in this one, my friends. You'll see about 3 crates. That's about it. But no, I mean, like, this game, you get into it and it just sucks you in. I streamed from start to finish on my YouTube channel, and Assassin watched like a good 3 hours of it. And I mean, the beginning just immediately sucks you in. Naughty Dog tells its tale so well. Its development is done fantastically, and just the ideas of how you got to climb and jump around stuff in this one, it seems a little bit more complex than Uncharted 4 for me, at least.
Oh, 100%.
And I found it challenging. Like, I liked it. I didn't like dying like 8 times in the first 4 hours, but you know, I thought it was unique. And Chapter 4 really puts a whole new spin on this game because the Jeep reminds me of the Jeep from Uncharted 4, of course, because they all look the same in Naughty Dog stuff, but you're just driving around, you got to solve all these different puzzles, and it just sucks you in, man. Like, you feel like you're in this story. And in some ways, and don't get me wrong, because I was never a Tomb Raider fan, so don't catch me off guard here with this, but I felt like this was Naughty Dog's version of like what they would do if it was Tomb Raider, because the main protagonist was female, and I thought that was really awesome that they did that. 2 females in this game, and there is a surprise. I don't want to spoil it, but there is some Uncharted 4 references. Man, it's just... And, you know, even in the credits in this game, if you watch my playthrough, they do it like a movie, because you see, like, these little animations and some music, and they go back to, like, a cutscene, and they go back to this, like, neat little animations. Oh my god, Inferno's fantastic. I gotta say, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. Like, I've upgraded my opinion, 10 out of 10 on this game.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've seen some really awesome things about it, and while I haven't completed Uncharted 4, I don't think you necessarily have to play this game, and I think what you said is definitely true from what I've seen. In full disclosure, I haven't played this yet, but from what I've seen, because I've been really interested in this, that it really is kind of like a take on Tomb Raider. It's a little take on kind of like Metal Gear Solid in a way too, because you can do the missions kind of in whatever order you want. It's not so linear like past Uncharted games, and that's a lot of what the hate that Uncharted has gotten in the past, is that it's very linear, and a lot of people don't necessarily like that. I mean, they like to have the handheld a little bit, but not as much as past Uncharted games have. So I like that you can kind of do your own thing in this one, and I do like that a company like Naughty Dog is taking a risk and doing like a single player standalone DLC that is in the same realm and is not giving up on single player games. Obviously, Naughty Dog does single player extremely well, some of the best in the industry for sure. And yeah, Clownz, I'm happy to hear that you're giving it a good review. I know the Metascore is at 85, which is probably the lowest for an Uncharted game, but 85 is nothing to slouch at. I mean, that's an exceptional score, especially on Metacritic. User score is right around that at 8.3 out of 10.
And I gotta be honest with you, for $40, right? You get a game that's anywhere, depending on your play style, anywhere between 8 to maybe 15 hours, depending on how in depth you want to go with the game. $40, and it's a whole new story in the Uncharted universe. Like, it really feels like its own game. It doesn't even feel like a spin-off. It really feels like its own unique game, and that's what Naughty Dog does very well with this.
It's crazy that they were able to do that in such just a short amount of time, just by using an engine that worked so well. And with Uncharted 4, they were able to spin that into something like this that, feels like its own game, but at the same time, you're playing an Uncharted game, so it gives you those same feels, and it's just executed so well. I just really think that the theme of this launch and how successful this game has been is that it can be done. Like, single player standalone DLCs can be done and should be done. That tie into the same universe, because people are excited for this stuff, and a lot of people don't want to see single player games to go out the door. And I know people will say, "Oh, Gears of War Judgment, that was like a single player standalone kind of DLC kind of game, and that game sucked." Or like a lot of people who don't like Halo ODST, they'll think the same thing. But a lot of people do love ODST. I think it's just personal preference. And while Judgment kind of did suck a little bit, I just don't think that was executed well. Like, if it's done well, I think it'll be excellent. Like, if Last of Us did this, I think it would do very well. Oh, well, Last of Us did do this. Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. What was the name of that again?
Oh, God, it's been a long time.
I haven't played it yet, and it's in the remastered version, right?
Yeah, and you can buy it separately.
Yeah, you're right. They have done this. Red Dead or like GTA did this a while ago, and if they did this again, I think it would do really well. Like, GTA 5 DLC has been just multiplayer stuff, and I think if they went back and did single player stuff again, it would do extremely well. But I feel like the industry is kind of seeing single player kind of like take a back seat, and they don't want to risk it, but I think they should.
Yeah, I think when it comes to studios like Naughty Dog, though, I think it sets a standard for what people expect nowadays in single player. And to be honest with you, Inferno, like, if they were to announce that this standalone DLC was to have DLC of itself, I would go out and buy this game instead of just running it for $3 on Redbox. Like, I would literally buy this game and wait for its DLC and pay for it because it's that good.
Nice. For what it's worth, I've heard that the multiplayer is improved from Uncharted 4. The multiplayer, I guess, is very much similar to Uncharted 4. I don't think it's changed much at all, but I guess there has been improvements on resolution and frame rate. So frame rates, still locked 60 for like competitive multiplayer. It's 30 for the survival mode, the horde mode, if you will. But it's 1080p, so I think it's 1080p. which is an improvement over the 900p that Uncharted 4 was. So take that, Uncharted 4. Assassin, you said Clownz said that you'd watched a good bit of this. What do you think about this game?
I've probably seen almost the full game by now, and games like this makes me really miss my PS4. And if I did have a PS4 and I got to play this, and Star Wars Battlefront 2 wasn't coming out this year, it would be my game of the year.
Wow, that must really burn since you don't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, it really does. I'm just sitting there like, I wish I could do that. But,
dude, too bad Blockbuster's gone, because Blockbuster used to let you rent systems. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
Go rent a system for a week. Oh man, that was so cool. Taylor, you got any thoughts on this? Have you played any Uncharted games before? Or?
No, I watched Achievement Hunter play.
On this one too, or just past ones?
Yeah, they played all of 4, and then they just started another series with this one.
Oh, nice.
They played about 45 minutes of it, I think. So I saw the first 45 minutes of the game.
And are you interested? Or would you be?
Yeah, I had to buy it on Cameron's console.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is a game people have been talking in the YouTube chat about console wars, and it hasn't gotten out of hand, so I haven't put a lot of people in time out. But this is one of those games that brings gamers together. I think universally people see Uncharted series as just a very good game. Same thing about Super Mario or something like that. I don't want to put those on the same exact level, but I think you get my point that people that are gamers just want to check out Uncharted. They just recognize that as a good game, as a good series.
But I hate to say it, this is where Xbox as a platform needs to step up a little bit and get these really good in-depth stories like they used to have with Fable. I mean, because PlayStation's also got Yakuza, and that is another fantastic story. The stories that they get for their single-player games just really blow my mind.
Mm-hmm.
How does Sony get all these amazing single-player games, and as Xboxers, it gets passed up? What is going on? This is...
Oh, God, Bob. Sorry, I thought you were done.
This is a huge part of the industry, and this is... RPGs, once again, have creeped the top 3 of the super sale genre, according to Matt Piscatella. So, I mean, let's get back into this, Xbox. Let's get some really good single-player stuff. Let's get some really great RPGs, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And part of that is because Sony has had such long-standing relationships with these developers that, now that, the developers have really, really hit their stride. Not to say that Uncharted 1 and 2 weren't good. Those were good games. Maybe Uncharted 1 a little bit better than 2, but, they've stuck with these devs and have, made them kind of their own for so long that now these people have really hit their stride and have provided such good experiences, and they have them in their back pocket, whereas Microsoft really hasn't done that. Even with Epic, with Gears of War, Epic doesn't make Gears of War anymore. And so when it was transitioned to a new development team, it's kind of got to build itself up again. Or same thing with Halo. Halo had Bungie, or Bungie had Halo rather, and then it was 343 Industries now, and they kind of had to hit their stride. And now I think they kind of, multiplayer wise especially, I think 343 is doing an awesome job. But Sony has just had Naughty Dog and had Insomniac and had. These big
good relationships with Atlas also.
Atlas, yes, very good.
Xseed.
Yep, and just these long-standing awesome relationships that they're just making money off of them at this point, and these people are just still proud to have Sony give them the backing and stuff. And Xbox needs to just have that long-standing relationship. And Bungie and Epic, those were their chances, man. Those are their chances. I mean,
I think as a platform, in its heyday with Don Matrick, I think Xbox kind of scoffed, when they had Halo and it was in its prime, and they had Gears in its prime. They kind of scoffed at everything else and said, we got the best, and then it just crumbled. Their empire just crumbled. And people grow up, man. People grow out of Halo. I hate to say it, but people grew out of Halo. People grew out of Gears. They don't want shoot 'em up games. They want story-driven games like they're sitting at a movie theater, and that's what's selling on PlayStation. Even when Sony had PS3 and they were on the bottom, they still had great relationships with Atlas and Xseed, and Xbox didn't make an attempt to make any deals with them at all. And you got Atlas and Xseed games on the 3DS. So if they can get it on the 3DS, Xbox can put some effort and get some of the stuff on its console.
Absolutely. So who knows? I don't know. It's just another, for Xbox fanboys, it's just another, hit PlayStation game to come out this year. And, what is Xbox seeing this year? Not very much, but I mean, you're seeing, a standalone DLC game be a better game than anything Microsoft's put out this year in terms of quality and probably sales by the time it's said and done. Like, I don't think Halo Wars 2 has sold a ridiculous amount. I don't think, I don't know if Forza 7 will outsell Uncharted Lost Legacy. It may not. Now that it's kind of like the show-stopping game for the Xbox One X this year, now that Crackdown's delayed and a lot of other games have kind of been delayed, Sea of Thieves and whatnot, State of Decay 2 is not coming out this year. So now that that's kind of like the showstopper Xbox One X game, that may outsell Uncharted Lost Legacy by a good amount, but
I think somebody broke it down. It depends on how many percentages the Slims get in the household versus the PS4s, because if PS4s still hold like millions and millions ahead, there's going to be millions and millions more of Lost Legacy sold.
Yep, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was bundled, like, for Black Friday or holiday packages, similar to what Uncharted 4 was last year. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clownz or Taylor, any more thoughts on this? I mean, Assassin or Taylor, before we wrap this up?
No, I'm calming down.
She's like breathing because she's so pissed off at Xbox and Nintendo this episode. And Assassin's over there pissed off because he's on a PlayStation.
No, anymore.
Well, our buddy Enrique from the B-Rap podcast, shout out to him. He is unfortunately getting rid of his Xbox One.
No, but he's getting a 1S.
Is he?
Yeah, he's getting rid of it for the Madden bundle. I think he's getting a 1S. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Pretty sure.
Yeah, he's not getting rid of Xbox. No way, Jose. But there are people that are, man. There are people that are getting pissed, and they are. So, they better smarten the hell up. And hopefully 2018 is a huge year for them, because now, like Jizzle said, and like I think Middle Age Gamer says, a lot of people said in the chat, now they've got the hardware. Let's see the software, damn it. Like, let's see it. But I think people are going to be really, really surprised at what they see in the Xbox One X, especially even Forza. Like, Forza is the best looking game I've ever seen, by far. So, oh yeah, Jizzle does actually have a PlayStation 4 he could sell you, Assassin. He does. He has a PS4 vanilla, though. What are you willing to pay? Wow. Okay. We're going to have to end this podcast, I think, and they're going to have to talk privately about that. So, yeah, hit us up on all of our various channels. I can't even look at the chat right now doing this outro. I have to minimize that so I don't laugh. Hit us up on all the various channels. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube or Mixer, please give us a follow or subscribe. That would be amazing. Twitter, 4GwQ. Oh, wow, I can't speak. 4GwQPodcast. That is our handle on there. Facebook, I promise we're going to start that up pretty soon. Taylor is going to take ownership of that and start that up.
I have ownership. I just need to actually post things right now.
Oh, okay. So
I've been busy at work.
Okay, so she's going to take care of that. For guys with quarters, give us a like. Obviously on Twitch, we've been streaming there a little bit. 4 Guys with Quarters on there. Just search 4 Guys with Quarters. You'll find us everywhere. iTunes, again, we're going to start being pretty active on there again. So go on there, give us a rating, maybe a review if you would. That would be amazing. And obviously the website, 4GwQPodcast.com. So, and for that, I'm going back to work, sadly. Peace.
Bye.
Later.
Enjoy Uncharted, bud.
I will.
Nice. All right.
Oh, wait, we gotta go 1 minute. We gotta go into the Quest podcast time, right? Is that the idea? I'm just kidding.
Wow. We just did, actually. It is 9 o'clock. All right. See you guys later. Peace.